to our first episode of Food and Philosophy.
Food and Philosophy.
Food spelled with a PH and philosophy spelled with an F.
That matters. So yeah, how's your day going, Aziz? I'm just gonna get right into it.
My day's going pretty well, not gonna lie. How about yourself?
I'm doing really well. So today on Food and Philosophy, we're gonna be talking about different philosophical ideas and different things like that with food.
Yes. What I have is a foot long from Subway, hash browns from Chick-fil-A, a Sprite, and then me and Luke will be sharing a 10-count chicken mini.
No? And then I've got some sriracha sauce that I'm about to put my hash browns in. And then I've also got a foot long from meatball sub, and then a chicken biscuit.
And protein shake. That's
right, yeah.
Very important.
Alright. So, basically the idea that we're going to be talking about today is everything behind killing the elephant.
And the essential question is, would you kill an elephant?
That's right. Would you kill the elephant?
And we'll both be answering this question at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But first, let's start off with what we think is an important quote from from Mills. Mills says, "In constructing an identity, one draws, among other things, on the kinds of person available in one society. Of course, there is not just one way that gay or straight people, or black or white, or men or women are to behave, but there are ideas around, contested many of them, but all sides in these contests shape our options about how gay, straight, black, white, male, or female people ought to conduct themselves. These notions provide loose norms or models which play a role in shaping our plans of life. Collective identities, in short, provide what we might call scripts, narratives that people can use in shaping their projects and in telling their life stories."
That's right. So, what we gathered from that quote was basically that Mills is trying to, he says that a lot of people play a specific role, and the role that they have comes with specific ideas and what he called was scripts that the person goes along with. Whether or not that's actually who they are, that's what they play into, because that's just how society thinks that person should act. They're like norms. And with George Orwell's Shooting an Elephant, the narrator is a police officer, and so there's certain norms that go with that. Because he is of a different ethnicity from the natives, his job is obviously not loved by the people around him, so a lot of people try to mess with him, and it's kind of looked upon as he should be oppressive, heartless, kind of just like rude and not caring. Would you say you agree with that, Aziz?
I agree. I feel like he almost feels like he has to kind of be like a tyrant to the people whenever he's around them. Like he has to kind of put fear to them because that's just the role that he has to do.
That's a good way of putting it.
Okay, and then evidence that we think that the police officer needs to be oppressive during the story is whenever he was not about to shoot the elephant, when he just saw the elephant in the field, he says, "I looked at the sea of yellow faces above the garish clothed faces, all happy and excited over this bit of fun, all certain that the elephant was going to be shot." So obviously here he has over 2,000 people, and then it was like non-stop people crowding, just staring at him with like this eagerness to shoot the elephant. And it's almost like if the people that not look up to you, but basically like have to look up to you, like because you're superior to them in the society, are like, this guy's gonna shoot the elephant. They're surprised, excited to see it. It's almost like he has to do it, or it's like it's almost like he has to do it, or he kind of loses like credibility for what he does in his life, I think.
That's a very good point. I just want to take a moment. The minis are a little burnt. Bad job, Chick-fil-A, honestly.
This is my first time ever having hash browns from Chick-fil-A, and I worked there.
Yeah, what do you think about the food so far? Is it good? I mean, I'm about to dig into a mini and see how it is, but the mini bread is a little bit burnt, not gonna lie.
And he works there, so he's gonna be complaining. So I went ahead a hash brown, and I'm gonna try it. I've only had like 1 or 2 chicken minis my whole life.
They're pretty good. It's still pretty good. It's okay.
C for chicken.
Alright. I'm gonna finish this bite, and then I'll get into another segment.
Input
pretty
classical jazz music.
Yes. So, next thing we want to cover is all of the harm or everything that the elephant did leading up to, of course, the killing of the elephant. And so the things that the elephant did was he, or she, I guess, caused chaos in different parts of town, even if it was short-lived, because we read that he was like causing chaos in some parts, but then also in other parts, people didn't even like they hadn't even heard of the elephant, and then we also can't tell if the people are just messing with them in that sense. So it puts the police officer in an awkward position. So he was causing chaos. The officer didn't know where the elephant was wandering off to, and so like he can't be in charge of watching it, and so he's put in another awkward position. The natives didn't really like the officer, so they wanted to mess with them again, and that just made the officer's decision more stressful and like put him under pressure. The elephant literally killed a guy, so it's kind of bad. I mean, like if a dog bites a person, he gets like thrown out. What happens to a dog if he bites a person?
From what I've heard, like I'm pretty sure, like I remember my cousin said that a dog in his own neighborhood got like bit a person, and like they came and took the dog, and nobody ever knew what happened to the dog. Like,
they just go to the pound and they get put down, or so. I mean, for an elephant, I get that it does work and stuff, but when you kill someone, that's kind of bad.
Even though he was on his musk period, I feel like.
Yeah, but somebody's got to be in charge of the elephant, and even though it broke out of his chains, there needs to be different measures put in place, I think, so that nobody literally dies.
And if anything, the owner that was 10 hours away, I feel like if he knew the elephant was about to go through his mosque, then he probably should have stayed there the whole time.
Right.
If anything, probably make sure the chains were secure enough to where the elephant wouldn't be able to escape.
That's one part that was kind of unclear, is that he like went the wrong way and somehow ended up 10 hours away. If you go the wrong way and you somehow find yourself out in, I don't know, West Virginia, and instead of going to the beach, I mean,
I think it's kind of obvious.
nobody's gonna feel bad for you. At least I don't. Like the police officer's job is to keep people safe. It shouldn't be as concerned that the guy keeps his working elephant when people are dying. So, a lot of times they're like, what we heard in class a lot was the quote, solely to avoid looking a fool, which is what the narrator said at the end of the story as to his reason for killing the elephant. And the narrator can justify everything he did in the past, even if his knee-jerk reaction was to kill the elephant because of all the pressure surrounding him. And regardless, he could just go back and think, okay, even though that was the reason I did it, there's a lot of good things that came from it, and I made the right decision. And it wasn't just him putting himself in a good place, it could have also been protecting the people around him, because had the elephant had another musk period while he was out of the town or anything like that, the exact same thing could have happened, I think.
And I don't think we know how long it would take the owner to actually get to.
Yeah,
Did it say how long it took the owner to, like after the elephant was killed? I don't remember specifically, but
I can't remember now.
But if anything, if that took the owner a few more hours, then anything could have happened in a few hours. So I just think it was the best thing to do. And one thing I was thinking of is I remember us saying in class that Mill says anybody can do whatever they want in life. So for example, how we talk about like if somebody wants to get famous on TikTok or throwing pies in their face, and that's what they do. I mean, that's their life decision. But some can argue that Mill says, however, their decision should not be immoral. Like killing an elephant could be considered immoral, but I feel like there was more benefits to it. So what he lost was an elephant, but what he gained was not looking like a fool. If anything, he kept his role in society and also like lived up to the expectations of the natives, which is kind of required because if anything, if he didn't kill the elephant, that's him against 2,000 natives. What could have happened there? You never know. Natives could have like started like rioting or something, or like if he looked like a fool, you never know what higher powers would have done to him. They would have been like, why would you make our like tyranny look like this? If anything, so there's more to it than just like more like not just morality. Obviously, it's wrong to kill an elephant. I feel like, but you always have to make the harder decisions in life because hard decisions end up like shaping what you need. For example, have you ever done anything hard in your life?
Yeah, I think that's a good point to bring up.
Have you ever done anything like so super hard in your life, like something that you did not want to do but kind of had to do?
I mean, I can't think of a specific example, but I think that makes sense. Yeah, it was the hard decision that nobody wants to be put into place to make. And so, let's see. So the narrator does go back and he dwells on his decision. He goes into details about the elephant's death and whether this is because he regrets his decision or because he just felt sad about the death or anything like that. I don't think that can be used as a counter argument towards killing the elephant, because it could have been because of how he wished he had never been put in the position in the first place. So like, yes, he made the decision to kill the elephant, but if it was up to him, it's not that he would kill the elephant or not kill the elephant, it's that he just wouldn't have been put in the position. Because I wouldn't want to be in that position. A lot of pressure, literally thousands of people surrounding him, and that's just a scary thought to me.
I also feel like at first when he killed the elephant, or when it was leading up to it, he seemed like really sad. But I think the reason why by the end of the story is he seemed like really like monotone kind of way, like I did it to avoid so looking like a fool. I don't know if like you've ever heard like how people convince themselves something that never really happened. I just feel like he was trying to convince himself like mentally because he was actually going through it, like, you know, this like he felt too bad to actually like face his actions straight on. So I just feel like he was trying to convince himself that I did this because I needed to, and if anything. So the reason why he seems monotone at the end, I just think is because that's the only thing you can do when you're like in a society where you have to be this tyrant. But I feel like he actually did care a lot, and that he did not want to shoot the elephant because that was his initial reaction.
Right. And I don't think anybody wanted to shoot the elephant, but that's what it came down to, and that was the decision he made. And he's human, so he's gonna have regrets and like sadness over taking the life. But then at the end, again, I feel like he tries to convince himself that it was like morally good, and it just didn't need to happen. And so I don't think that's wrong per se. It was kind of just his way of moving forward, moving past it. Now I guess we can get into
The good stuff.
the good stuff.
So I got a turkey sandwich, right? What did you get?
Meatball sub, very nice.
He only gets just meatballs on the sub.
Just meatballs, that's all you need. You don't gotta overcomplicate it.
I get every vegetable except for like cucumbers and tomatoes, and then I get like 3 dressings and like 4 spices. Then yeah.
I mean, it looks pretty good.
It's,
I have no clue what it is.
It's a lot. It would take way too long to explain. But I think now we should like go like back and forth, like have just a one-on-one discussion of would we have killed the elephant. So one thing is that like where we are sitting now in like the 21st century, obviously we would not have killed the elephant.
Yeah.
However, put yourself in a place where you're an officer, and then you're like this oppressive officer.
Right. Just putting ourselves in the exact same position he's in.
Yeah.
Like today, if I had thousands of my classmates standing around me in downtown Winston, and the elephant's going berserk or whatever, and then I have to make the decision whether to shoot it or not, I'm not going to shoot the elephant. But this is a lot different in my opinion.
I just feel like here,
Excuse me.
obviously equality is more of a thing, but back then it was obvious that the natives knew they were under and the officer knew he was on top, so that's why they felt like they could pressure him if anything, because they knew that he would want to do what made him look like the guy if anything. But nowadays, like whatever decision you make is whatever decision you make. And I like to think about it like this: if I'm gonna go like a little controversial, so if I was born 300 years ago as a white teenager and my dad was a rich landowner, what would have I done back in the day? Obviously, like most likely, even though it's sad, probably would have been like a slave owner if anything. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm not justifying that like, oh, what they did was right. But I'm saying is that when you're born into something, I feel like it's just what you see as a regular. Obviously, people don't. For example, me wearing this cool little robe, you guys can see it. The reason why I wore it today was obviously we're talking about individualism and what we like to identify as, and I'm like really big about my culture. Like I even suggested Luke, maybe I should sit on the floor, but obviously you wouldn't be able to see me.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you can still do that if you want. They can just have a good look at me. But
I don't know, because I don't want the camera to break or anything. So yeah,
love that.
So, if anything, out of 100%, how likely would have you killed the elephant?
In the exact same position, same scenario, everything, I think I would have killed the elephant. And
100%.
yeah, I'd say so.
Same thing.
Even though, like, I would be like, gosh, I do not want to do this. And then I'd just, like, all the pressure soaking in from around, all the people. Yeah, it would just not be comfortable. There would be a lot of pressure. And in the event that I wouldn't shoot the elephant, I don't think that I would just look a fool. I think that the natives would take it a little bit worse than that. I think that they would have been a whole lot less happy.
Not only with you, I feel like they would have been like a lot less happy with the government in general.
Yeah.
And I feel like what people are not understanding with this is, for example, like the Holocaust, if a soldier didn't kill an innocent person, then that person was killed. And like, I remember hearing that what Hitler would do was take in a soldier and make sure his family was fed. So a soldier knew if he didn't do exactly what he was told to do, maybe he would have died and then his family would have died. So it's like, you gotta do what you gotta do, honestly. Because remember, life isn't fair, and at the end of the day, everybody's trying to make it to the next day, if anything.
There you go.
So, obviously, me and Luke think 100% that we would have killed the elephant.
Yeah.
And throughout this, I guess what we're trying to mainly say is that we're not saying what he did was right. We're trying to justify why. Not what was.
We are trying to say that it was the right decision, even though it was a difficult one.
Yeah.
There you go.
But we never said, we're not trying to say it's morally right. It was
Correct, yeah. It was just, if we were put in that same position under the same pressure, we would have done the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And,
That's pretty much, I think we covered the big stuff.
yeah.
So our final question to all the audience is,
Would you have killed the elephant?
let us know in the comments.
Yes.
Make sure you like, subscribe.
Yes.
And-
Hit that notification bell.
Yes, and make sure you put in the comment who you want. So we're going to start this thing where we get guests.
That's right.
Who do you want our guest to be for our next
We need a
podcast
guest
episode?
speaker for our podcast. That's
Yeah.
right. Yep. For the next end of unit assignment.
Because I think this went really well. Honestly,
I
I was
agree.
kind of nervous, but I think that like having like a journal, like we have like the reason why we're looking down is that we have like these bullet points of obviously main topics, and we have like our quote written down. But I just feel like the way we were bouncing off each other went really well.
We were bouncing off each other.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, like our ideas were like boom, boom. It was just like this big intellect bubble.
All right. Well, I
One
guess
last
that's
thing
all. One last thing.
We got way too much food.
Yeah, we really did. We still have a biscuit left. I have a 6-inch left.
I have like 9
5
inches
minis.
left, and then we have 5 minis, and then I barely took any sip. But I kind of
I'm
like the
already
idea.
full.
I don't know why talking to eating, I'm full, but I feel like if I would have eaten this straight without
Yeah,
like talking.
because you have to slow down whenever you're doing it this way.
Yeah. So,
All right. Well.
any last concerns for our wonderful audience? No, that's it. Okay. We love you guys. Bye. I'm gonna wave until he sets on the camera. Renegade.